Hey, Chef Billy Parisi here from billyparisi.com, and I'm getting ready to whip up one of my favorite breakfasts of all time, corned beef and hash, and we're gonna make a soft-boiled egg, or maybe you know it as a jammy egg. There was a stretch for about 4 or 5 years when I would meet with my buddy every Saturday morning that I literally only ate corned beef and hash with a side of pancakes. I don't know what kind of kick I was on, but I absolutely loved it, and I'm super excited to make this for you today. If you know anything about corned beef hash or hash in general, it's actually a French term. Haché means to chop, because you notice everything in the hash is sort of minced up, chopped up, however you like it. But it's also really popular in Britain, Scotland, and I do believe it is still popular in France. But here in the US, we love corned beef and hash. I don't know if it's because of the after St. Patty's Day crowd and you have so much corned beef left over, gotta make some hash. Whatever it is, it's super good and really, really easy to make. I'm gonna walk you through it. The first thing we need to do, of course, is prep up. We are going to small dice a yellow onion. So go ahead and slice off each end of your large yellow onion. Next, I'm gonna simply cut it in half, take the peeling off, and then to dice it, simply slice into it all the way up to the top, slice down on it, turn it, and then slice down again until you have these beautiful small diced yellow onions. We're gonna set that to the side in a bowl, and we wanna roast these onions up. We want them to be caramelized before we cook everything else. So head over to your cooktop. In a very large cast iron skillet, we are gonna add in some unsalted whole butter. Once it is melted, add in your onions. We're gonna cook these on medium to medium low heat. We wanna get them nice and browned up, let all those natural sugars come out, so it's really, really flavorful in our hash. But this is great timing because while the onions are caramelizing, go back over to your cutting board. We've got a few little things to prep up still. And because I'm totally lazy bones and I'm done mincing up garlic, I've got a garlic press. I'm simply gonna press a few garlic cloves through. We're also gonna set that to the side in a bowl. And next, I've got some corned beef. I went straight to the deli and got it thick sliced. Let me stop right here. If you heard me earlier talking about after St. Patty's Day leftover corned beef, this is fantastic to put into this hash. In fact, if you ever eat corned beef, whether you're making Reubens or whatever it is, this is a great option for breakfast just to use up all that corned beef. So go ahead and slice it up. Next, we're gonna turn it and then mince it up a little bit finer. We're gonna set it to the side in a bowl. And then next we need to prep up potatoes. I definitely prefer using Yukon potatoes over russets, but feel free to use russet potatoes. We're gonna slice those. We're next gonna turn them and slice them again. Turn them 90 degrees again, and then what we're gonna do is dice them up. We want these to be pretty small. Think about a medium dice in size, about 1/4 of an inch by 1/4 of an inch. Now let's take that and the corned beef, go back over to the cooktop. We're gonna start cooking. You can see that the onions got a really nice brown on them. They've been cooking for in between 8 and 10 minutes while I prepped up everything else. This is perfect timing. Let's go ahead and add in our garlic. We're gonna saute that for just a minute or two, sort of mix it right into the onions. Next, we're gonna add in the corned beef. Last but not least, we are gonna hit it with those medium diced Yukon potatoes. Go ahead and give it a stir, cook it over medium heat. It's gonna take in between 12 and 15 minutes for the potatoes to get a nice brown on them and so that they are cooked in the middle. You wanna come back and move them around maybe every 2 to 3 minutes so nothing is burning, nothing is sticking. You want that beautiful golden brown on these potatoes. Remember, just think hash browns in this case. To finish them off, we're of course gonna season it up with some sea salt, fresh cracked black pepper, and for me personally, I like to garnish it with some chopped parsley, chives, and fresh rosemary. Go ahead and mix that in, and now we're gonna start cooking our eggs. Add a large pot of water right to your burner. We wanna get it to a rolling boil. We are gonna make these soft boiled jammy eggs. They're gonna be hard on the outside, nice and runny on the inside. So add in your eggs very gently. I'm gonna do 10 here, and the way I do it is just put them in a bowl and put them right into the water, turn it over, and let the eggs come out really easily so they don't crack on the bottom. You're gonna cook these for 6 minutes. A 3-star Michelin chef out of New York named Wiley Dufresne taught me about the 6-minute egg in one of these demos that I saw him do. So we're gonna boil it for 6 minutes on the dot. Do not go any far past this. Immediately shock them in a large ice water bath. That's what we call it in the industry, or you can call it a bowl, whatever you wanna do. We're gonna let it sit for 2 minutes. Now to crack it, take the sort of fatter end of the egg, that's where that air pocket is, smash it down on that side. And for me, I like to run it under water when I'm peeling it so it doesn't rip apart. You want that membrane to come off in between the shell and the hard-boiled egg. That's what makes it come off with ease. Once it is completely peeled, we're gonna go back over to wherever you're plating up. I'm gonna add some of that delicious corned beef hash that we made right into a plate. Next, I'm going to top off with that soft-boiled egg. We're gonna garnish it up with a little bit more of those fresh herbs that we used in the hash. And then last but not least, grab yourself a sharp knife and let's cut that egg right down the center and watch all that beautiful jammy yolk just run all over that hash. Cannot wait to try this out. This is just so good, so easy to make. You get that savory, that salt, that delicious egg yolk. This soft-boiled egg is fantastic. I guarantee you're gonna use it in more places than just this corned beef and hash recipe. I love this. I don't know why. It's just so simple. It's so amazing. Like I said, for 5 years, this was all I ate for breakfast. Let's try it out and make sure it's good. Man, those herbs are awesome. If you don't like rosemary, you can absolutely discard it. Don't put it in this recipe. To me, rosemary and potatoes go so great together. I'm not gonna waste any more time. I wanna eat all this. I'll catch up with you next week.